Please do.
Hi, how'd you make it in here today?
Hi, good. It was kind of tricky figuring out campus because I'm kind of new to this whole college campus thing, but I ended up finding it. I had asked a couple people.
Good, you found the bus route and everything like that. Good.
Yeah.
Good, I know. Like you said, sometimes it can be a little confusing, so I'm glad you made it here in one piece. I'm glad you made it, so thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking the time to talk and meet with me today.
Thanks.
So my name is Jess. I just want to do a little introduction of myself and the agency. So my name is Jess, and I am getting my master's in social work. I'm in my second year. And in the program, you do 2 different kinds of internships, and I'm in my second year internship. So the placement that I chose was actually a counseling center here.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. My commute's a little easy.
Yeah.
So what that means is that I have a supervisor. So technically, I'm still a student just like you. And I have a supervisor, and when I meet with clients one-on-one, I go over notes with her and content and that kind of thing, and she overlooks, what I do. So the time that we have together will just be individual one-on-one, and that's kind of a segue into confidentiality and that kind of thing, if you're familiar with that at all. So I'll go into detail about it. So confidentiality means that kind of what happens between you and me stays between you and me, except there's 2 exceptions. So the first exception is, like I mentioned, my supervisor. So since I'm still a student, I have to report to her. She's a licensed social worker, so she's been practicing in the field for a couple decades now. So if I have any questions or any concerns, I'll report to her. And we also have supervision where we kind of talk about cases and that kind of thing. So when I say things stay between you and me, for the most part they will, but she's also going to be playing a role, not directly with you, but I'll kind of be a liaison between you and her if for some reason you had any questions.
Yeah, that makes sense. So basically she'll know some things and she can help with certain parts of this?
Yeah, and she remains confidential too, so it's kind of like a triangle. I'm pointing to her as if she's right. So it's kind of like a triangle between the 3 of us, but it'll mostly be you and me. And if you have any questions or, for some reason you want a new counselor or you want to speak with her or you have any questions for her specifically, I can give you her contact or anything like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it will be you and me if you do choose to work with me for the period of time that we have set aside for ourselves.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. Good. So that's one part of confidentiality that we would potentially have to break. And then another one would be for the safety of yourself or others. So if you are at risk of harming yourself or other people, legally I am a mandated reporter and I have to report that. There's a number of reasons why one would have to break confidentiality. We can go into detail about that if I suspect, that you may disclose something, but just to give you a heads up, it's not something that happens too often, but it's often enough with, a number of clients that it's something that we just like to explain, just, because we want to protect you legally and, what you share in here is really important and I want you to feel like this is a safe environment for you.
Yeah, I don't think that should be any problem, but I'm glad that I know that now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. So the other piece of the informed consent that I'll go over is HIPAA, and HIPAA is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's just an online portal where your health insurance and your health information is stored. So it's completely secure. I don't even have access to it. It's something that's kind of beyond me. But it's just like an online portal where you can where your information gets stored, so no one has access to it. It's just kind of a legal requirement that all like health services, hospitals, doctor's office, they're all protected by HIPAA and that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. I think I've heard of it when I sign off at my doctor's office.
Yeah,
so
there's usually a line for HIPAA, so I just wanted to let you know about that.
Okay.
So do you have any questions about that so far?
No, I think that all sounds good, and it sounds like pretty reasonable. So
and at the end of the day, those laws and regulations are just put in there to protect both of us and your safety and your health and your mental health and that kind of thing. So that's some business stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff
that needs to be gone over. Yeah.
Exactly. And another business related piece of counseling is how you can access us. So I have a business card, or not myself, but there's a counseling business card that I can give you there's a phone number, there's an email. We also have an online portal, so you can access information that way.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure would you mind telling me how you found out about us?
Yeah, so I was having just some trouble kind of sitting in my dorm alone a lot and really not feeling that great,
Yeah.
trouble adjusting to school.
Yeah.
And I went and talked to my RA because they really made it known in orientation that, like, you should use your RA if you're having anything going on. And my RA recommended that I get an appointment at Counseling and Health Services.
Yeah.
So they actually walked over with me and helped me sign up with the front desk and put an appointment in. So that's how I was kind of known how to do that. Yeah.
Cool. So it sounds like you already have a great relationship with your RA, which is really important.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So so that is one way that you can be referred to health services. You can also access us online, like I said, if you just look up on the Navigator Salem State Counseling or even Counseling Health Services, you should be able to find us. Like I said, there's a business card, there's also a brochure, you might have seen it when you walked in, so that's one way that you can access us. Another thing regarding appointments is that you can cancel. We ask that you cancel like a week before, just because we do have appointments set aside for specific clients. So if this time works, at the end of our session, you can go to the front desk or online and you can book out for the next couple weeks.
Okay.
So you don't have to think about it. You can just show up, put a reminder in your phone, and you can come. As for cancellations, like I said, just a week before. And if for some reason you feel like you're in crisis, you can call our front desk, and there are appointments set aside for kids who are in crisis. So if for some reason you meet with me and then a couple of days later you're going through something that it can't wait, you can see if those spots are available. If not, we have a number of hotlines that you can access as well. So I know I'm overloading you with information.
No, yeah.
Is any of that helpful? Is there anything you'd like to know more about before we kind of dive in?
Yeah, so with like canceling and scheduling appointments, how long can I schedule out for? I know you said that I could maybe schedule the next couple of appointments out.
Yeah.
When do I stop scheduling appointments out, and how might that work?
So you can schedule out for up to a month. So you could schedule 4 after this, because this is what's called an intake. So you have an intake, and then you have we are allotted 8 to 10 sessions afterwards, because the counseling center is more of like a short term counseling approach, just because we do provide support for all of the students. So I'd love to work with you for as long as we could, but unfortunately, given the demands and the staffing and just a bunch of like systemic, logistics, we're not able to do that. But you are able to book out up to a month, and then after that, you can book another month. So yeah, does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, it does. So I guess looking ahead, since I look ahead at a lot of things, just kind of might have to do with why I'm so anxious here. What if I feel like I need more services after those 8 to 10 sessions? Because I totally get why the counseling center might not be able to do long-term counseling.
Yeah.
What happens after that if I feel like I still need more support?
That's a great question, and it's one that I'm happy you brought up, because I was actually going to get into that.
Oh, great.
So once the 8 to 10 sessions are up, so it sounds like you are aiming more towards 10. We have like a resource guide, and we're really lucky to be in an area where there's so many different resources. There's resources to hotlines, doctors if for some reason we were to refer you out for any sort of additional treatment. And we also have a plethora of counselors and therapists, licensed social workers, all those things. We can provide you with those numbers. We would be able to refer you out to those. So there's a number that are within walking distance, they're on the bus route.
Cool.
If you had a car, for example, really not a far drive. So we try to be as accommodating as possible.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
okay, that sounds good. That makes me feel better.
Okay. So I know that I've thrown a lot of information at you. Is there any other things that you have questions on or concerns?
No, I think that kind of covers everything. So pretty much everything will stay here. No other like students or anything will know about it.
Yeah.
All my health stuff will stay private, I guess. What about the cost? Do I have to pay to come in?
No, so luckily we are at a public state school, so you're on insurance, so you either, did you waive it or are you on the school insurance? And you might not know, so.
I waived my insurance. I'm still on my parents' insurance.
Okay, perfect. So what you can do is not even worry about it, because it's covered through your parents' insurance.
Okay.
And depending on the insurance, once you leave the counseling center, they may have what's called a copay. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, like at the doctor's office.
Yeah, so like depending on what health insurance you have, you might have to pay a copay once you leave counseling services. But here, you just book your appointment, you come in when you're supposed to come in, and you get your services. So it's really nothing to think about.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that all sounds good to me.
Awesome. Okay, well, so I'm glad we got that off the table. So I just wanted to kind of get a feel for, you know, where you're at right now, if there's any pressing concerns that you have, and then I can kind of get into my style and my approach. But if you wanted to start, kind of lay out the foundation, give me a little history of what's going on.
Yeah, so I guess I came to school a couple weeks ago, and I just haven't really been adjusting that well. I don't think I ever really wanted to come to school that much anyways. Not for the school part, but I just didn't really like living away from home. I'm pretty close with my family, so I would prefer to stay there, but I'm a little too far to commute. So I guess I'm feeling kind of homesick and just sort of anxious being here.
Yeah, well, what I'm hearing from you is that, you know, you're really family oriented, but you're also really academically driven. And, you know, I think it's great that you even chose to come to school. I mean, a lot of kids, they don't for a number of reasons. So I think it's really impressive that you decided to make the choice to come to college. So kudos to you for that.
Thanks.
Of course. And, you know, I think that it's really great that you're able to do this self-reflection and realize, you know, I'm here for a reason, but I also miss my family. So I think that that's a really important strength of yours that you may not even realize that you have, is to be able to kind of assess how you're feeling, and that's really important.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of it that way before.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because one of the approaches that I use is like person-centered. So what that means is that it's all about you. So these 50 minutes that we're together is all about you. It's about your needs. Together we'll create some goals. If you have some coming in, we can absolutely touch upon those. Sometimes a lot of clients aren't really able to recognize, or they have a hard time recognizing what they want to achieve. Sometimes people just think of counseling as just sitting in the how do you feel. But the approach that I like to take is it's all about you and what you need. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for you. So I hope that's something that you'd be interested in kind of taking on with me.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I think I'll match with that style good.
Great. And then another aspect to the way that I approach counseling sessions is strengths-based perspective. So that means I'll be focusing on the number of strengths that you have. So sometimes clients don't recognize the strengths that they have, so it's kind of my job. I remember one of my professors taught me that social workers are like flashlights in the dark. So I'm here to guide you, and I'm here to have you reach your goals and assess your needs and learn how to kind of cope with certain things you're feeling.
Yeah.
Does that sound like something?
Yeah, no, that does sound good.
Okay.
I think I've always been really reflective, and I like to journal a lot. So
that's awesome.
that sounds like something that I think will work well for me.
And when do you find yourself journaling?
Usually more at night, or kind of if I feel anxious about certain things, or just kind of down. Okay, well, what you just mentioned is a tool that we use here in the social work department, so to speak, to kind of work through our worries and that kind of thing. Because if I'm hearing you correctly, that's kind of sounds like what you're using the journaling for. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's one tool, and you know, throughout our 8 to 10 weeks here, we'll come up with more strategies that we can have. You know, if there are specific instances when you're socializing, or when you're feeling homesick, or when you're on your way to class, or whatever it may be, we can come up with different strategies and tactics to kind of tackle whatever emotions you're feeling.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. That sounds helpful.
Good. I'm glad that sounds like a great plan. So we have a little bit of time left. I was wondering if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, who who your family is, what your likes are, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I guess I live at home before I came here with my parents, my mom and my dad, and then I have a younger sister who's about 6 years younger than me. I guess things I like to do is dance. And I did join the dance club here at school. Awesome. We haven't really started yet, though, because it's just the first couple of weeks.
Right.
So I think that's supposed to start in the next few weeks, and I think that might help a little bit. But now I feel like I just don't have a lot to do while I'm here, while I'm kind of waiting for that to start.
Yeah. And so you said that you don't find that you have a lot to do while you're waiting for it to start. What exactly do you mean by that? What does that look like for you?
I feel like when I was in high school, I always had a really busy schedule and stuff to do, but now there's just a lot more free time, and it's a lot more time to think about things. And in high school, I always had a lot of friends that I would spend time with.
Yeah.
But here I just don't feel like I know anybody well enough to spend a lot of time with them yet. But it kind of feels like everybody else is spending time with each other.
Yeah. So it sounds like, just based on what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of sounds like you're having kind of a hard time adjusting to and transitioning from what you had in high school, full pack schedule, to college, where it really is all about being independent and making choices that you think will be most beneficial for you.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay, great. So I'm glad that I was able to understand that. And like I said, during our time, I mean, I think it's great that you joined the dance team. We have a number of other clubs and organizations that there's access online that you can get, and I could also give you, we have like a resource guide of all the different things that you can do on campus to kind of broaden your horizons a little bit, if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think it would help me to kind of get involved in something else. I guess I don't know if there's any opportunities for employment on campus. That's something I might be interested in.
That's a really good question. So one opportunity is called, I'm blanking on what it's called. So there's a couple different opportunities. So there's what's called a work study.
Okay.
So if you are on a financial aid, like if you have a financial aid package, what you could do is you could work through the school, and you could work at one of the dining halls, you could work at the library, you could work as a TA, like you could work as a number of things, and you would just get money directly into your account.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be anything you'd have to think about, like banking wise or anything like that. So that's an opportunity. There's also there's a career center. It's actually in this building. It's one floor below us.
Okay.
There's a career center that helps students who are currently looking for jobs on campus, as well as once you're a senior. I know that's probably crazy to think about, but once you're approaching your senior year, there's options for post-grad.
Okay.
So if after this session, if you want, I could walk you down there, and I could kind of show you, who to reach out to down there for career-wise, if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, that might be helpful. I think I can feel really anxious and worry about that type of stuff a lot. So I think that will be something that could maybe make me feel better.
Great. So I'm glad that we're already kind of coming up with goals and strategies, and I hope that what we've been discussing so far sounds like attainable goals and things that you could really see yourself doing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Awesome. So do you have any other questions for me? We only have a couple minutes, so I just wanted to see if you had any other concerns, questions.
I can't think of anything right now. So just to remind myself that to schedule my next appointment, I can go to the front desk and then I can schedule it out?
Yeah, absolutely. So right when we're done here, I have to go down there anyway, so I can just walk you there, and the receptionist is really nice. She'll re-explain it, but yeah, you can book your next 4 appointments out. And like I said, if you want to stay with me, then we can have this 50-minute chunk of time ready to have us continue to connect and get to know each other. There's also a number of other counselors if you wanted to choose that, and that's totally up to you, and she can help you kind of navigate that all together.
Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. It was really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you too.